Hello, Witchfolk. Welcome to our coven. We are angels on broomsticks. We're a mother-daughter duo. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Evangeline. And here on this channel, we see makeup as fun, creative, magical, and for everybody. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely think about hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. So today we're doing, a little bit of makeup you'll see later, but we're also doing sort of a explanation of something that I don't know how to do. So what is that?
Yes, I bought a palette, at Sephora. It's a PatMcGrath Quad, and it's called, thank you for taking my notes away.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't know you needed them. It's called Venus and Fleurs.
Venus and Fleurs, but there's more to it, the name.
Oh, my God. Is it long? Oh, my God. Okay, listen to this. This is what it's called. Venus and Fleurs Luxe Quad VOYEURISTIC VIXEN.
VOYEURISTIC VIXEN.
The name for just a quad.
Just a quad. So, yeah, I ordered it because I watched Patty Alonso, who's one of my favorite influencers because she's a great makeup artist. And it's one of her favorite palettes. Patty made me buy it, so I did, and it came, and it was cracked. Like the spectacular shade and the other semi-spectacular shade. Do you want to show it?
So there's Rose Fire Nectar and Twilight Bronze. So PatMcGrath is known for having these super stunning shades. This one in particular was the extra smushed.
That one was also cracked.
Yeah.
So I called and they sent me another one the following day. And it came the next day, but it was cracked as well. This shade in particular, this was fine, but the stunning shade was cracked.
Yeah.
So, I decided instead of asking for another one because it seems crazy, I decided to do the pressing method, which I've done before.
Yeah.
I did it on a palette I got once. Mary made me buy it. It came from England, and it was like this one shade popped out of the whole palette, crushed on my floor. I scooped it up. I used shoe glue to put the little thing back, but the powder I scooped up had dog hairs in it. And I did the pressing method and it worked, but I didn't get all the powder. But I got powder and dog hair in it. I can't even open it up. It's so depressing.
Yeah, that's a little bit different if it's all over the floor. But if it's like, smashed within the pan, I think it's a lot easier to do this.
A lot easier to do this one. And I've done it before with another. I got a Juvia's Place palette once that got a little smushy because it's a certain type of shadow that doesn't transport easily. Like, don't go taking this to the gym. Don't go taking your melt palette, on vacation.
Right.
Because you'll be sad.
That's so true.
So certain shadows don't travel well. Or if they do, you got to wrap them up. Like when you get a Cleona, it's wrapped up in one little tiny shadow is wrapped up in a, enough plastic for Laura Palmer.
Who's that?
Okay. Wrapped in plastic? She's wrapped in plastic.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
From Twin Peaks.
Never seen Twin Peaks.
Okay.
But she's going to show me and you how to do this method of, if you drop your pan and you open it and tragedy has happened, how to fix this. And you know what? This happened to my Becca bronzer in Capri Coast. I'll try and show you. And I didn't even drop it. This just cracked on its own. I had panned it. And it just started cracking, so you're also gonna try and
I'm gonna do two things because I've got here a shimmer shadow that got smushed. So I'm gonna do two methods.
Okay.
So you can see.
Cool, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you an up close and personal on how we do this method, and definitely stay tuned after that to see how we made these looks today.
All right. So here we got the shadow. It's just a crumbly mess. So I'm gonna, for this particular one, I'm just gonna leave it in the pan like this.
So you're just gonna pat it down sort of with your fingers?
Yeah, for now. And then I'm gonna get this alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. And I know that I've seen it done with 70%. There's different kinds of alcohol. There's tequila, there's vodka. Don't use any of those. I'm talking about the alcohol you get at the drugstore. Okay, so this is a rubbing alcohol. or it's the antiseptic alcohol. And the other thing might be the rubbing alcohol. There is a difference, but you could use either or. So I just pour a little bit into the cap, but I think it would be good if you used a dropper.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because this will evaporate.
Oh, wow. That's like a lot more than I thought.
It goes away. Trust. I was scared too. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel. You can use a Kleenex. Once I used saran wrap and it kind of worked, but it kind of was unnerving because you could see it, you know? So what you're going to do is just press it. You can take, you know, your bottle of whatever you had. Like this is a setting spray bottle, same size, and just hold it there for a bit.
You're not even pushing. You just set it there.
Yeah. Because you just want to see it, the alcohol kind of come through. It doesn't come pretty.
Yeah,
like
it's not going to look as perfect as it was.
It's not, and especially if you have like a Chanel stamp on it.
Oh, yeah, that's gone.
Say goodbye. But that's okay, you know? And so you just press it till you see the alcohol come up. And then there you go. There's ready. That's it. Now you got to wait for it to dry. And it takes usually overnight, I'd say, maybe 24 hours.
Yeah, don't use it.
Don't use it.
Because all that alcohol has to evaporate, right?
Yeah. So you just wait for it to dry. And there you go.
Wow.
So the next thing, because you have that Becca one and it's crumbled to pieces. And you could do this with something that when you hit pan. And it like there's only just product around there. And you're like, ugh, I hate that. You're going to make a paste. So you're going to get a tool. You can use like a bobby pin, or this is a special tool from Morphe. Does this scare you?
I mean, it's a little disturbing, but
That you're just making it into a powder. Because then you're going to make it into a paste with the alcohol. Going to make it into like a peanut butter consistency.
chunky peanut butter?
It could be chunky or it could be smooth. Like say you had a minimal product, you could put it in another vessel and make the paste. But here, I'm just going to do it in here. So I'm going to, again, pour it into the cap and see how that goes. So this is actually enough. This looks pretty good, I think. Actually, just a tiny bit more. Boop. It does look like peanut butter, right?
Or clay.
Do the same thing that we did before. Just make a shape out of it that you like. Okay, and I'll grab another clean paper towel. I'm going to just fold it because this is a lot. And gently press. Gently. Yeah, it's pressing.
Wow.
Yeah.
It even creates a little texture.
Yeah, because,
Paper
so you
towel.
can, if you get a paper towel that has texture, you created your own product. And you can sell it, a private label. Still coming up a little bit.
So you do that until it doesn't come up, or just
Yeah, because
sort
then
of...
you want to get it dry, I think. I think one more paper towel and then we're done. And each time I do it, it gets flatter.
Yeah.
I can see it kind of goopy at the sides there. The melt stack. Wow, yeah. Okay, perfect. Fits perfectly. We'll leave it in there for a little bit. Okay. Look at all the alcohol that came out. What I'm doing here is just dabbing it at the sides and we can clean it. It's almost flattened back out to the whole thing.
Yeah, even though I panned it, there's still like a decent amount like left. It panned in the middle and then the edges cracked away. That's what
So now you got it beautifully, beautifully repressed. And then you just clean it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it'll be back to normal. So I aired mine out in the air.
Okay, I'll air it in there.
Yeah.
Like, don't close it yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll put a pic of what it looks like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Boop.
There you go.
Ah,
Yay.
yay. That's so cool.
Yeah. Easy to do. No more tears.
I can see.
No more tears crushed eyeshadow. Yeah, so that was pretty easy, wasn't it?
I've never seen that done before, so I'm not excited to try it because I hope nothing
Just
smashes.
wait a little while, like 24 hours before you use it.
Good point.
To let it set. Don't forget that.
Okay.
That special part. Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're just going to go into just our eye looks today. We're going to explain a couple things with like using shimmers in particular, how to make them stay a bit longer and sort of what methods work best for certain shimmers, brushes, fingers, all that stuff. So stay tuned to see that. I hope you learned something today. Okay. So, did you prime your eyelids with anything?
I did, with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the new color that I use.
You use vanilla now.
Yeah, I use vanilla.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this smallish fluffy brush. It's a Sigma Blending E25. And that's what I'm going to use to place the matte shadow, which is After Dark.
Yeah, so with this kind of eyeshadow palette, because there's literally only one matte, I feel like most people will probably go in with the matte first, because you can really get your shape and really build up the matte and then the shimmer after. So I'm going to start laying mine down with the Spectrum KGH Katie Jane Hughes collab. This is number 15. So it's sort of one of those flatter
Yeah, I like those
brushes.
Those are my favorite brushes.
Because I'm doing a halo. So I like these brushes for like
precision, right?
Sort of half precision, but a bit of blendiness, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, those are the perfect brush. You can almost just live off those.
Yeah. If I had to choose one brush to use ever, it would be this one. Forever. So I'm just going to place it on the outer corner, and I'm not going to worry too much about the blend or the shape just yet.
Yeah, I'm just placing the color as well. Doing a bit of blending, but then I'm going to take the bigger, fluffier version. It's a Sigma E35, and it's clean because I cleaned everything. And I'm just going to diffuse the edges, just small circular strokes.
I didn't bother priming my eyes today. I usually do with the NARS Soft Matte if I'm going to, but I don't know. After I did my foundation, just a little bit of it, and the concealer I used seemed to sort of neutralize the red of my eye, and they don't seem too oily or too dry, so I just left it today.
That's okay. That's okay, dear.
You don't have to prime all the time. I think if you start to know what your eyelids need.
If they're oily or not. I used to have oily eyelids, and so I'd always have to prime. Back in the 80s, I primed.
Really?
Yes. I discovered primer. I think I'm the first person to use it. It was from the drugstore. It was called Aziza. By Prince Machiavelli. It came in a tube. And I turned all my friends onto it, and then they discontinued it.
So now I'm going in with the KGH Spectrum number 19 brush. This is sort of like a fluffier brush. It also has like a flat tip, which is kind of interesting. I really like these for blending in the crease, especially if you find you have smaller eyes and a fluffy brush doesn't work for you. These kinds of brushes are really good.
Well, I just use my excess off my E25 and just go under the eyes. I always do that when I do an outer V thing.
So with halos, I like to just like blend out the edges and then take, what's sort of on the brush and like bridge it in the crease. And I'm taking it along the lower lash line. What are your thoughts on the new PatMcGrath Mothership palette?
Well, I'm just looking at it here. And okay, when you see it in the pan, it kind of looks like Kaleidos collaborated with their shimmers. And then with her usual mattes, which are
what?
Pat. Always the same.
They're always the same color. Okay, so I saw this. I follow PatMcGrath, and it came up on my feed. I think there's 2 shades in there that are stunning.
Stunning.
I'll put it up here, and it's that one on the far right. It's like this beautiful shifty purple, and then sort of this kind of fun salmon-y neon you don't normally see in a PatMcGrath palette.
Is that the one on top? Do you think that's my... Oh my god, Amy. Oh yeah.
In the middle. But honestly, the rest of that, I swear, are in other Mothership palettes. I swear she took a conglomeration of her other Motherships and then added those 2 cool new shades, and that's it. She always has these sort of like rosy mattes. Like they're rosy, sort of purpley, like what we're using now.
What we're using right now.
Like all the time, I swear. Just like shake it up. Like what?
I still like it.
Like, are there even like blue mattes from PatMcGrath?
No.
They're always.
Why are there not green mattes? Maybe she doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, she has to shake it up. It's got to be something different.
Like an olive green matte. If anyone knows, let us know. Because I do have 2 of those big Mothership palettes, and It is pure joy opening them up.
They're really pretty, but you gotta do something different. Show-stopping every time because of the price point and because of the nature of her like shifty shimmers. You can't just let those do all the work. You know what I mean?
Jelly bean.
Jelly bean.
I concur.
You concur. Wow. It's so hard for you to have any sort of negative opinion about makeup. You don't like to ever diss it.
I don't.
It's
Because
too nice.
I'm too nice about it. Well, now I'm ready to go into the next stage, which is Twilight Bronze, which is this kind of shiny shimmer. There's a chunky shimmer, which is Rose Fire Nectar, and then the shiny shimmer. And I could do this with my finger, but I'm not. I'm going to use this flat. This is like your brush that you like with Jean. This is Bodyography. It's a flat shader. And I'm just going to use the brush because I'm going over almost my whole lid. I'm going to just tap it on and see if it works, because sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of shimmers that it's a very specific kind of shimmer, and like Kaleido shimmers might be a good example. It just goes on way better with your finger.
So I'm going to try my fingy.
It's like when you use a brush, sometimes it just sort of like, it's lackluster.
Oh, this is working with the brush the same. Because this isn't the showstopper shimmer.
So this looks a little patchy, but like I might just, like I'm just going to put the shimmer on, and then once that's on, then I'll sort of sort out.
Work around it. So that's what I'm doing as well.
So I'll go in with the same one, Twilight Bronze, but I'm going to go straight in with my finger, my ring finger, and tap it in the middle.
Another thing you can do with these shimmers in general, pack it on your brush and just see what it's like with the setting spray. Boop. I'm going to do that on the bottom.
So yeah, that's just sort of like an everyday shimmer. Do we want to call it that?
Yeah.
It's a subtle, sort of nice sheen.
Yeah, it's not, you can put this all over your eyelid for the daytime look when you're going to play tennis.
I've done the thing where, because my eyes are closer together, I sort of like went too far in with the shadow. So I'm just going to take what my concealer brush was and like brighten it back up and blend it. I hate when I do that. I think that's why I haven't been doing halos so much anymore.
Halos are tough for that
Because
reason.
the inner part, yeah, you don't want to go too heavy-handed with it. Okay, I'm going to go in with the showstopper.
Me too, but I'm going to use glitter glue, and I cannot praise glitter glue enough. So I just, on the back of my hand, I just put 2 little dotlets, one for each eye. And these are finger activities.
Yeah, I'm going to try some.
So use one of my dead fingers here.
Your what?
Well, the finger that doesn't like poke, because you want a gentle
It's
touch.
your weakest finger. Yeah, you're dead.
So whatever. I'm gonna put it in the middle, and because I wear stuff like this in the dog park.
Yeah.
The glue helps the glitter to stay.
Yeah, I did wear this palette yesterday. I tried it for the first time, and I noticed with this show-stopping shade, sort of by the end of the day, there's little flakes everywhere, you know?
Yeah, they kind of get everywhere. So there you go. What do you think? I'm just putting it on Katie Jane Hughes style in the center, and then
dolloping it up.
Dot, dot.
You can even, like, when you're picking this shimmer up, you know how you tap your brush? Tap your finger, like, boop, boop. And you might see little flakes that would normally, like, fall on your cheekbone, you know? What's the shift on this? This is, like, red and gold.
This is insane. This is insane, this color. I saw a car that like this color once.
What?
It was a Scion too. Yes.
Wow.
Like a copper penny shift.
Can you even tell on camera?
Like, I don't know if you could tell.
Wow.
Yeah, so as for the Mothership 9, the new palette, I can't wait till it comes out, and this time go to Sephora. Go to Sephora and see
Has
it.
it come out?
No.
We should try and sneak and get it early like we did with that Natasha Denona. We went to it early and we got it.
That's how that
released.
put us on the map. Nobody knew who we were before. And then we snuck into Sephora, and they had it in the back. It wasn't ready even to be launched yet. And we got it first, and we had the first video out on it.
You know what I want to do? I want to do like a mini halo on the bottom. So I'm going to take this sort of small pencil brush. This is the Spectrum KGH. This is the number 18. I'm going to put a bit of color on both sides. Not a ton. Then same brush, I'm going to try the spray of the brush. And I'm going to go in with that Rose Fire Nectar and put it in the middle of the lower lash line.
Wow, that'll be interesting. I'm just using my Sigma E35 with just a little bit of the matte to build up more shape toward the inner corners of my eye because I neglected that area. I don't want it to be too bald. Like, you got to use the real estate there, you know?
Sometimes when I'm having a bit of trouble diffusing the outer blend to like have a nice gradation, I'll take like a very fluffy, this is like a fucked up brush from Morphe. It's like awry. I'm just gonna take it and it's got nothing on it and just sort of help with that sort of blending out, you know? You know.
It's a good idea.
Okay, inner corner highlight.
I'm using a Morphe brush too, but it's Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill? That's her name? It sounds like a furniture store.
Jaclyn Hill.
Jaclyn Hill.
I suppose it's
That's that influencer, right? Do you know her?
She's the one who had that big scandal with the lipstick, right?
The hairy lipstick.
I obsessively watched the raw beauty under a microscope because I was so fascinated. The hairs and the metal.
So it's a little tiny pencil brush.
Yeah. But a little big. I'm taking a very small one.
My very small one I left at home.
This is from Lavish. I have no idea what brand that is, but it was in a BoxyCharm.
That's what's good about BoxyCharms and going to your Winners or your TJ Maxx's to get brushes that you could just, you know, tool around. When you wet a brush, it gets ugly.
This is the shade Moonlight Liaison, by the way. Such a dramatic name for a not very dramatic color. So you want to put mascara on and then give our final thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, these are the finished looks. So, I don't know, thoughts on this palette?
Well, I love it.
Itself? Yeah.
Now that it's fixed.
Here's a little crumbled, fixed version. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I feel like if you want to try PatMcGrath, definitely go for one of these quads because there's like quite a few color stories with these quads. There's like a blue and gold one I think you have.
There's a bunch, but I still think every woman and every man and everybody, every person needs a Mothership
palette.
Yeah, big one.
They're really gorgeous. I mean, their shimmers are just next levels.
Yeah, they're not like anybody else's.
That's so true. Yeah. And they're so shifty. I don't know if you can tell, but they are. But yeah, that's it for today. I don't know. We hope you learned something about repressing palettes, a little bit about applying shimmers and the process, especially if you're sort of struggling with fallout and stuff. Try out some of these tips and tricks and definitely let us know in the comments down below some of your sort of like go-to shimmer hacks or some of your favorite PatMcGrath palettes. Let us know. Okay, that's it for today. Right. You better stay witchy, you better stay bitchy, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
witches.